reviews. You're listening to the Friday Frothy. What a fantastic show.
Friday Frothy.
G'day viewers, welcome back to the Friday Frothy. My name's Jeff. This is
Glenn.
How you going, Glenny?
Oh, good, Jeffy.
Mate,
Good, mate.
We're back in the driver's seat again here in the Frothy Bar, and another great guest we've got coming on to the show this afternoon.
We have, mate, Kyle Troup.
Yep.
Part of your
background,
mate.
champion bowling, a professional bowler from the United States. He's back over in Australia, and he's coming up very shortly, so looking forward to this one.
Professional bowler at the top of his game.
Yep,
So we
certainly
look
is.
forward to that. Strap yourself in.
Grab yourself a Frothy, and we'll come back with Kyle Troup. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kyle Troup. G'day, Kyle. How are you, mate?
Doing well, guys. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing well, mate. My name's Jeff, and this is Glenn.
There you go, mate. How are you, Kyle?
Obviously, we're down in Tasmanian, Hobart, and you're currently up on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. You're back in Australia again. How's it all going?
It feels great. A couple years ago, whenever I was younger, I, never thought that I would be to Australia twice within 3 months. But, very blessed to be here. It's beautiful out. We've got a nice view of the beach from our apartment that we're staying in, and bowling's going pretty well so far. So, can't ask for anything more right now.
You'd have to say he's just about a local.
You'd be like, what part of the Sunshine Coast are you at, mate? Mooloolaba? Where is it all? Maroochydore or?
Yeah, we flew into Maroochydore.
Yeah.
And then we're bowling at Sun City.
Yep.
So
Beautiful.
I guess this would be the Queensland area. I'm still kind of getting familiar of where we're at.
Certainly is.
That's all right.
The warmer part of town, that's what it is compared to us. Hey, you're over again for the Bowling World Cup, and as you said, being bowled in Queensland. How's it all going, mate? Have you actually started bowling, and how are you travelling with it?
Yeah, so well, the travel was a bit not so great. The flights were good. We had like a 6-hour delay in Sydney, so we planned on going into Sydney, to see the Opera House, and then we had lunch in the airport. Our flight was canceled, so it took about 2 hours to get 11. We have 13 of us traveling, 11 of us traveling. So it took about 2 hours to rebook, 2 hours to check our bags, and then we had 3 hours left. So we flew 15 hours and then spent about 10 hours in the airport. But
Wow.
It just helped us all sleep a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then bowling started yesterday. Myself and Chris Prather bowled on the men's side. And I guess with this format, it's just based on points, kind of like the Walter Rockway that I was able to bowl in down in Tasmania.
Yep.
So I went 4-3, so I've got 12 points in my pod. There's 4 pods, 14 guys in each group. The top 8 out of each pod make the singles. So I am tied for 4th with about 4 other people. So I went 4-3, and then Chris Prather went 5-2 last night. And then on the women's side, Brianna Cote is leading her group with 5-0. So she has 15 points. She went undefeated. Do you know what Jordan had?
She had points.
And then Jordan Richard was 3-2, so she's inside the top 4. The women have 8 women bowling, and they cut to the top 4 in each pod. So far so good. And we start up here in about 2 hours for the other 2 men, and then women later on this evening.
Yep. So the format there is also is you're doing like mixed doubles and teams and singles. And...
So all that we really have is the singles. So there is like a singles medal available, and then all these points that the singles players accumulate go towards our team total, and then we will bowl some team Baker games and round robin match play, and that'll determine the seeding for the team bracket. So we have a team medal up for grabs, and then a singles medal up for grabs as well.
Okay. How long does the tournament go for?
We are here till, Thanksgiving in the States. So Another 11 days.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So not next Thursday, but the Thursday afterwards. So
Yeah.
still
Okay.
still a lot of time left down in Australia to enjoy.
Wow.
Oh, excellent, mate.
That's great.
Got a bit of a question for you straight up, mate. A little bit about yourself, if we can go from there. Now, you're the son of the famous Guppy Troup, your dad, who also was a professional bowler and PBA winner. How much influence, mate, did he have on your bowling?
Well, on my bowling, not so much. I started bowling two-handed at a very young age. I guess he did influence me by starting me with a heavy ball when I was 3, 4 years old. So I kind of had to bowl two-handed, and he never tried to change me, thankfully, because I am not a good one-handed bowler by any means. I would probably still be making frosties at Wendy's if I was a one-handed bowler. But as far as the influence, he taught me a lot as far as like the entertainment side of the sport.
Yeah.
His first goal was to entertain, and then it was to bowl well.
There they are. Guppy resplendent in the red today. Got all the good stuff on. Got his gold out today, didn't he?
That's right. If he doesn't beat you, he might blind you out there, Jay.
221.9 tournament average. 300 perfect game on this TV pair here in Columbus this week. Got it.
Well, 11 more.
Another thing he taught me was, without fans, we don't have bowling. So the least that we can do as bowlers is to put on a show, give back to the fans. And, I guess I got my style from him as well. We've just kind of upped it with the jersey and the matching pants here in the later generation.
That's one of the questions that we had. What was the influence on the clothing? Because I love some of the get-ups, some of the gear that you wear. They look fantastic.
We thought you were a little bit like Red Foo, actually. You had all the
that's what Glenn's
colourful...
saying.
Like when you had the afro going, mate, have you still got that, or is that all gone, mate?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you got it on
we're
there.
still-
I'm not
we
looking
still
at
got
you.
it.
Oh, no,
we
now
still
I
got
can
it
see you
going.
up. No, you're right, you got that.
We're working on, we're going for the man bun next year.
I love it, mate. I'd be going for the man bun too if I had any hair, but you're right, you've done well.
never give
I'm
up.
only jealous.
Yeah. He's got a long way to go. So they call you the pro with the fro, is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
I love it.
That was kind of the term that was, Bolero was, we were very fortunate for Bolero purchasing the PBA a few years back, and they would kind of want to set some personas for players and, give us some brands. Mine was kind of already established a little bit, so, the pro with the fro works out a little bit better than Afrofish, but, we can rock with that.
It certainly works well, and you look great when you're bowling. That's the
Yeah,
main
I
thing.
do. Sensational.
Bowling out of Penn Station in Newton, North Carolina, the reigning PBA Player of the Year, Kyle Troup.
Hey, Dave, you know how many titles Kyle Troup's dad, Guppy, has?
How many?
8.
Nice.
You know how many Kyle has?
How many?
9.
Yeah.
And boy, what a savior winning and defending at the PBA playoffs just about a month ago for Kyle Troup.
Not one but two belts.
Also, what part of America are you from, mate? Oh, it was South Carolina, is it right? Or
So I live in Taylorsville, North Carolina.
North
Carolina,
Carolina,
It's
sorry.
a small, North Carolina. It's a small town about an hour north of Charlotte, and then about an hour east of the mountains. So I'm about 5 hours from the coast, but only about an hour from the mountains and an hour from the big cities. So got a little bit of everything, not too far away.
So
That's beautiful.
with your bowling schedule, do you get to go home much at all, or are you pretty much just on the road all the time?
So during the first half of the year, so like this year coming up in 2023, the PBA schedule is like from January 28th till May 11th. So I will be on the road with Jesper Svensson pretty much the whole time. From there, we'll drive all the tour stops. But I would say I spend 90 days a year at home, so not a whole lot of time at home. When I'm off the PBA, I do coaching clinics. I've got a few coaching clinics set up in December. So a fundraising event to take some kids Christmas shopping in Louisville,
nice.
Kentucky. So
Well
we've
done.
got. I stay pretty busy in the off season, so to speak.
Yeah. So you're giving back to your fans as well, which is fantastic.
That's part of the game is giving back, because they give us so much support, and throughout the year. That's without the fans and the support from them. It does make our jobs a little bit easier knowing that, people are rooting me on, people want to see me succeed, so I try and do the best that I can.
Do you travel? Have you got a girlfriend, wife, or are you on your own, mate, or do you?
I do have a girlfriend. She lives in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
There are some plans to be moving to Kentucky in the summer of next year after the tour. So hopefully that goes well. Make some more money, get a bigger house in Kentucky.
Yeah,
But so very happy in that relationship, and she's pretty much, my rock and support that's kind of got me through the last few years, and I would say I kind of helped with some of the wins.
Does she get a chance to ever come to any of your tournaments, or no? Or is she too busy at home? Or
she has 2 kids, and she has a job. She works at a hospital, but she gets to travel a little bit with me. She'll probably be making an appearance at 2 or 3 of the tour stops this year, and then we get to spend quite a lot of time. That's also the reason why I'm not as home as much now, spending more time with her in Kentucky. But it's definitely going to be a lot easier once I do make that move to Kentucky. But we're happy and making the best of it right now.
Well done. Yeah. Good on you.
Hey, Kyle, just a little bit about your bowling and your bowling style. You said before you started off at a young age two-handed. Obviously, not obviously, I don't know if you know or not, but we've interviewed Jason Belmonte before here on the Frothy, two-handed bowler. How much in the PBA has this two-handed style revolutionised the game? I mean, do you know roughly what a percentage of bowlers are actually bowling two-handed now on the PBA?
I mean, on the PBA, I would say it's still a lower percentage just because, it is tough to get to the top level in the PBA. I mean, I do know there's probably 8 two-handers. I mean, myself, Jesper Svensson, Chris Vai, Sean Maldonado, Jason Belmonte, Oscar Palermo.
Yep.
That's 6 right there that have titles. I'm sure I'm forgetting 1 or 2.
Yep.
But, there's probably 10 to 12 two-handers at least. But on the youth side of it is where, the game is really being revolutionized. We have a big tournament called Junior Gold here in the States. And I would say on the men's side, it's got to be close to 50% of the field is two-handed. And, even the women, we're starting to see some more women two-handers. Bella Castillo, if you tuned into the PBA Jimmy Allen Challenge, it was like our celebrity show. Okay. She is 13-year-old female, and she won the Celebrity Clash. She's got a huge social media following already. So, and I think that comes from at a younger age. It's a lot easier to create revolutions on the ball with 2 hands and see the ball hook. Yeah. Because at a young age, that's all you want to do is hook the ball as much as you can.
Yep.
So, and then also, just about every TV show on the PBA, there's going to be at least 1 two-hander, if not 2.
So does that mean, mate, that the bowl is that? Can you put any thumbprint sort of thing in there to hold that ball for that, or is it just you're not using the holes, obviously? So how do you? Yeah, I mean,
do you have a thumb hole?
Can you modify the bowl? That's what I'm saying.
No. So we actually they changed the rule a few years back because all the two-handers do use 2 finger holes, but we used to be allowed a weight hole. There is I think Matt Russo is a two-handed lefty that does use his thumb. So there's 1 or 2 two-handers that do use their thumb, but now for the most part we're only allowed 2 finger holes. Pretty much, if there's a hole in the ball, you've got to have your finger in it.
Yeah,
okay.
Just a technical question. I haven't been involved with bowling for probably 20 odd years or more, but how does that work with the weights of the ball? Obviously, when you drill out the thumb hole, you're taking out thumb weight. How does that work?
So we have to just kind of alter the drillings. I'm not super technical when it comes to drillings and everything.
Yep.
Oh, did we freeze?
No.
Are we still good?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Still good.
Yeah.
We just kind of have to shift the pins and CGs. I would say a lot of the two-handers now, the CG part of the ball is going to be right near our fingers, and the pins are going to be probably in the upper first quadrant for right-handers.
Yeah.
A lot higher pins to just, I guess, shift the weight block a little bit, because when we first removed the weight hole and we were drilling them like normal, just pin over the bridge, with the CG 2 or 3 inches below your fingers, the ball didn't seem to hook very much. So, thankfully the guys at Storm and the other brands have really figured out, the drilling specifications to, make the ball still work at optimal performance.
Yep. And just for Glenn and people who are watching this, obviously in a bowling ball they have a weight block inside the middle of the bowling ball, and the pin they're referring to goes up to the top of the ball. Yeah. So it's like that. So depending on where you put that pin is where your weight block is situated. Okay. Is that right, Kyle? Is that a good demonstration?
Yep, you've got it. Hey, you still know the game.
Whew. That's hard work. That's hard work.
So what weight ball do you bowl with?
15-pound bowling ball, I would say.
15 pound, yep.
Yeah, probably about 95% of the tour, of the PBA Tour uses 15. There's like one or two players that use 16. And then I believe like Bill O'Neill has actually went down to 14 pounds for the upcoming season.
Yeah, okay.
But 15 pounds is pretty much the general weight for all across the PBA Tour.
So just on your bowling, Kyle, how many 300s have you bowled? Do you know? And also, do you still get nervous when you bowl them?
So I don't know exactly how many I've bowled. I would say I probably have about 16 or 17 in the PBA.
Yep.
I did bowl my first 300, 10-21-06. So I was 15 years old in youth league. If I had to guess between league and practice and PBA, I would say probably about 60 300s. And then I do have one on television at the PBA Tour Finals this year.
Yep.
And
looking for 11, 2 away from history.
Yes! To 10. He needs one more for a perfect game.
Use your legs. First 300 on TV in nearly a year at this very event in suburban Detroit.
And, you still get nervous. I mean, because it's a perfect game. But, that's the moment that we live for as professionals, is to be able to handle the nerves and overcome that. Speaking of that, yesterday I had the front 9, 4-pin. Next game, front 8, 4-pin. So I didn't handle those nerves too well, but I did get my point in the match. At the end of the day, that's the most important task for us.
Banking the points.
What's your training regime, mate? How many times do you practice then? If you're obviously bowling all the time as a professional, but how many times do you get to practice, or is that part of it? Do you practice for long, or you don't? Or
So, all bowlers are a little different. Obviously, when we're on tour, there's not really any time for practice. But during the off season, I do bowl quite a lot on the weekends. So I probably only practice twice a week during the week. And I'll bowl probably anywhere from 5 to 8 games. I'm one that's, more quality over quantity. I try not to over practice. I have burnt myself out a few times. So as I'm getting older, more things are coming, more appearances and events and tournaments are coming up. I've got to kind of learn to say no sometimes to some of these events, because I definitely burnt myself out a little bit in 2021. But, and then working out, that's probably one of the biggest things that a lot of the players on the PBA Tour have added into their games is, fitness. Speaking of, I've been going to the gym down the street here in Australia 4 days a week while we're down here. And I'm saying, if I can work out in Australia, I should be able to work out anywhere. But, that's kind of the concern of two-handed bowling, is how long can we do it? And I think as long as we take care of our bodies, we can do it as long as we want.
There's a bit of physical impact especially on your fingers, ripping through that ball.
Yeah, the lower, for two-handed, lower back and legs, those kind of take a little bit of the brunt a lot of times. But, obviously then the other injuries can happen: shoulders, arms, hands, and whatnot. I had a hand injury about 2 years ago, and then some sciatica issues about 7 years ago.
Yep.
But that's whenever I was 24 and realized I've got to start stretching. So
Yeah.
I do
I was
that.
going to say,
in the morning and at night.
Yeah, so when you actually get to a tournament beforehand, you have a routine where you're limbering up and doing warm-up exercises and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of ballistic stretching. We try not to do too many like deep stretches before bowling. We kind of do the deep stretching more after competition.
Yep.
But just the arm swings, leg kicks. Just getting the blood flowing in the muscles, getting them loosened up. That way we kind of avoid injuries the best as possible.
Yeah. I just want to ask you, with the tournaments that you've won, and also just bowling in any tournament, is there anything that's more prestigious that you've won, or is there a tournament out there that you haven't won yet that you really want to win?
I mean, obviously, winning the Players' Championship last year for my first major, that's been a goal of mine forever. And, it did have it tied the record for the highest top prize at $250,000 US. So that was quite nice as well for the pockets. But, and then the one tournament that I definitely want to win, but I actually want to just make match play would be the US Open.
Yeah.
I bowled it 6 times. And I've only made the cashers round once, and that was last year, and that was probably the best I've ever bowled in my life in 2021. So, and that's going to be the first tournament in the 2023 season. So, once we get back home from Australia, be a lot of work, a lot of practice, getting ready for the tour season coming up.
Yeah. Who's your favourite player of all time, Kyle?
Not including your dad.
Not including your father. It can be your father.
Well, it could be.
It
Could be, but yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I looked up to my father very much as an entertainer, but I would have to say Norm Duke.
Yeah.
He was a bowler of the people and just the talent. And when you watch him bowl, he just gets into a zone that no one else can get to. It's like the Duke zone. His mental game is very composed. He's just always composed no matter what's happening. He's always analyzing every shot. And, he's a great guy. I've got to spend some time with him off the lanes and really look up to him.
Hey, just on tempo bowling, how is it travelling in the States? Is it still as strong as what it once was, or is it sort of slowed down a little bit?
No, I would say bowling has kind of almost rebirthed in the last 3 to 5 years, especially with the purchase of Bolero purchasing the PBA. On the professional side, they really excelled a lot of the tournaments. But then, on the youth side as well, I remember whenever I bowled youth, I moved up at 16 years old because there wasn't a lot of youth tournaments to bowl. I did not bowl collegiately. Nowadays, kids are traveling as much as we are at 13, 14, 15 years old to bowl tournaments.
Yeah.
And then, there's lots of scratch tournaments. Obviously some areas are lighter than others, but, I could bowl $1,000 sweepers every weekend within 3 hours of my house if I wanted to.
Wow.
And the USBC Masters just opened for registration. It's going to be in Detroit, Michigan next year. 390 entries, and it filled in 10 hours.
Wow.
So that just shows, and PBA non-members are allowed to bowl that, and that just shows you that Michigan is still one of the bowling capitals of the United States.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, obviously, mate, you're very popular. Do you get recognised a lot in your own in the States and in other
anywhere
anywhere in the world?
Yeah.
Do people get to
a
say
lot of times?
Yeah.
Well, they're like, "Hey, are you Kyle Troup?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and then they're starting to learn my name, which is good because about a year ago it was like, "Hey, you're the guy with the afro," and I'm like, "You're kidding me, really?"
And is that just at home, or is it when you're like in Australia? And
No, I mean airports, other countries.
Yeah.
I get recognized in casinos a lot too because I guess bowlers are degenerates.
That's where I got it from. Oh no. Yes.
Have you got
I
other?
guess they call them pokies down here.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, pokies.
Pokies.
What about when we walk to the bowling alley? So we're trying to avoid that.
It'll get you.
Well, just a silly question. What other sports do you like? Was there other sports outside 10-pin bowling that you know?
Yeah, so I really enjoy golfing. I'm not very good at it. I probably just started golfing about 3 years ago. I love to golf, and I also enjoy fishing. I have a buddy back home that has a boat. We'll just go out. I like the calmness on the water. And then, the feeling if you do catch a fish, because the fish can be anywhere in this entire lake, and then to be able to hook one on the reel and get it in the boat, I mean, there's no better feeling than that.
Yeah, exactly. We've got some great fishing spots up where you're at, where you are at the moment. But,
yeah. Yeah.
If you've got a bit of time, mate, get out on one of those fishing charters. That'd be
Yeah.
good.
Get a bit of snap on.
Love
Love to
that.
do that.
My word. Hey, let's get on to this Tassie trip. Was what, about 3 months ago? I think you were down here in Hobart bowling at the Devil's Lair.
Yeah, we bowled the Devil's Lair. That was, a pretty awesome event. Put on. It was a lot of just head-to-head competition. The fans were great. It was, definitely my first time down in Australia. Didn't really know what to expect, and I think they excelled over the expectations. I mean, the fans were very welcoming, very supportive of us, and they were really into the whole competition.
Ooh.
It did suck that I lost to Belmo in the final, but I'm coming back for the gold medal this time. So
Are you coming back? Are you? You're definitely coming back.
Now, I haven't heard about 2023.
Yep.
For the Devil's Lair or whatnot, but as far as I'm back down in Australia, and I've got some guys with me here to hopefully take Belmo's gold medal back to the States.
He'd love that. You came down with the Devil's Lair with some bloody good bowlers, didn't you? I mean, there was Danielle McEwen, there was, as you said, Jesper, Daria. Who else was with you? Jason Belmonte.
Ash Riley.
And Ash Riley here from Tasmania. So yeah, a bit of a field there, mate. And one of the things that I was absolutely amazed with and just so pleased to see is that you guys stayed on after that tournament, or before. I'm not sure if it was before or after, but you were out there bowling with in our Rockway, as you said before. Rockway is a long-lasted tournament, but it's been revamped this year, where all the states play against each other, and Kyle and other guys, professionals, actually stayed and bowled with all the guys, and they were out there talking to them and participating. And you could just see the smiles on all these young bowlers' faces, getting to meet you and being out there. So good on you.
It inspires them, doesn't it? That's what he's saying before.
Yeah.
It's inspiring the younger ones.
Yep.
But that was such an amazing experience. Myself and Jesper Svensson got to stay back and bowl that. There were some long days, that's for sure. But we made some friendships that'll last forever. And then now, seeing some of the guys here for World Cup that I met down there, especially the New Zealand team.
Yeah.
Ben Pettit, young kid, I actually get to bowl him tomorrow. He's in my pod, so I'm really looking forward to that. And, it's just nice to make friends around the world.
Yeah.
And everybody was very welcoming of us. We were afraid that maybe some people would be upset that the PBA bowlers were bowling in the Rockway event, but that was the furthest thing from that. They were very happy to compete against us, and I'll tell you, myself and Jesper, we had a hard time winning our points because it was like they brought their A game anytime they bowled against us.
Yeah.
Well, you're inspiring them.
It's typical for people to step up, though, isn't it? When you're bowling someone of a bit
most definitely. We're kind of already seeing that here at the World Cup as well.
Yeah. No, look, I thought it was fantastic. I dropped over a couple of times, and as you know, I friends now with Craig Blatchett, I think his name is, which you met.
Old Craig.
He's a champion. Thank you, Craig, for setting this up. That's fantastic. Can't thank you enough. And I came over a couple of times, and as I said, and I saw you out there bowling, and you were just talking to everyone and just having a good time, and it was great to see. In that respect, how did that rate to like bowling in a PBA event compared to bowling in Rockway? Are you at the same level in your mind?
So in my mind, I'm always at the top level mindset no matter what I'm bowling. That's part of my process.
Yep.
Obviously the event was a little different, bowling 5-man team games. Even like in regular league back home, we don't have 5-man teams hardly anymore in a lot of the areas. It's 4-man league. So that alone was a little adjusting, having to just wait in between frames for a while. And, just the amount of time that we were spending in a bowling center was a little bit longer than, say, some of the PBA events. But, that we're professional athletes. We've got to learn to adapt to our surroundings and, had to change the process up a little bit. But at the end of the day, I want to win every time I lace up my shoes, no matter if it's, for free dinner or $1 million. I'm going to have the same mindset.
Yeah. What were your thoughts, mate, on the talent down in Australia? I know you sort of nearly just covered that, but with it,
the New Zealanders were fantastic.
The New Zealanders were good, obviously, but
there's
a bit coming through. Yeah.
Most definitely, and the styles, the style of players, lots of two-handers, the talent is just unbelievable. Every time I go to a new country, I don't know what to expect from the talent level, and it just kind of exceeds the expectations. I think that just shows that bowling is growing all around the world, and younger kids are getting more into it, which then leads to more talent, at even younger ages. So, I was very impressed with the talent, and even, I did have the high average in the Walter Rockaway, but it took me till the last game of the tournament to get around Ben Pettit, the 16-year-old from New Zealand. And I believe I averaged like 238 or something. So, there were several players averaging 230, so lots and lots of talent for sure.
What was the lane conditions like, mate, down here? What were they, how did they compare?
Lots of friction. Lots of friction. We do notice that, but we've kind of noticed that compared to the United States and a lot of the countries that we go to, higher friction, but hey, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all bowling on the same condition.
Yep.
I would definitely say that was probably the weakest ball I've ever started with for a 46-foot pattern.
Yep.
And the most urethane I've seen him play on a 46-foot pattern at the Rockaway event.
Just talking before, you're talking about Norm Duke and you got touring around with all these people. Now you're at the World Cup. So you're spending a lot of time with all these different professional bowlers. Do you all get on quite well?
Yeah, I would say so. We all kind of have our groups and whatnot, but we're all out here doing the same thing. We're leaving our families. We're leaving our homes to be on the road for 3 months at a time. So there is a mutual respect between all of us. Because we're all fighting for that one title. That one big check every week. So I would say that there's not too many rivalries on tour anymore. It would probably be great for TV, but I mean, it's a fun sport. We all respect each other. I have a lot of friends in the game, but then, if I bowl one of them on the lanes, they're my enemy, so that's just kind of the name of the game. But once we get done, I mean, I remember bowling Anthony Simonson for the title at the PBA Tour Finals last year, and he beat me in the roll-off to win the title, and we were rooming together, and I had about 20 minutes to myself and, kind of collected myself, and then we enjoyed the night together and we had a blast. So, it just shows we all have great relationships with one another.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. The actual PBA, that everything's pretty good with that. I know we mentioned golf, and I like golf as well. I'm probably a bit like yourself. I'm not that good at it, but I'll keep trying. They've even with golf now throughout the world, I mean, they've changed. Now there's live golf and all this. There's breakaway leagues and all that. Obviously, is it in a strong position with the bowls, or is there none of that sort of thing going on where they want to break away and have different, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, if there was a live tour on bowling and we were bowling for $5 million, I would maybe have to consider it. But
I thought you might.
No, I think
I'll carry your bag.
The PBA.
He wouldn't be able to lift him. He wouldn't be able to lift him.
I'll go to the gym too. Trust me, I'll carry him.
But no, I would say the PBA is the main organization. I don't think there's any rumored break-offs or anything of that nature. We're just trying to all grow the sport, grow the PBA as much as we can, and
good.
The more sponsorships we gain, the more money we can make, and the more tournaments available.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's positive, isn't it? I mean, that's what you want to hear.
Yeah, most definitely.
Kyle, you do a lot of coaching and workshops, as you said before, and a lot of young bowlers out there who would like to make a career out of Tempian bowling and one day, travel from Australia to America. I've known a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine who tried to do it. They went over there for a little while and they've come back. What advice would you give, or what advice do you give to these young bowlers to advise them of their career and where they're going to head to and how do they get there?
A few things. I mean, one is very simple, is to have fun. You have to enjoy what you do. I don't really feel like bowling is my job. It's a hobby that I get paid to do.
Yeah.
I love the game. I love coaching. I love giving back. And also I wish at a younger age I had a more patient mindset to learn from my mistakes. It took me a long time to kind of realize that you learn the most from when you fail. Don't just, when you bowl bad, just forget about it and move on to the next tournament, because there is always going to be another tournament to bowl.
Yep.
But you need to learn from your mistakes, have fun with it. And, a quick thing that I would say as far as the process of bowling, there's 3 steps. There's preparation, getting your body ready, getting your equipment ready, getting your mind ready. There's execution, which is obviously making the shot, watching your ball go down the lane, all of that. And then the third and most important part that I feel like a lot of players miss is reflection. you have to reflect on the good days and figure out what did you do well today that made you win the tournament. And then on your bad days, what could I have done better to get better? And that reflection stage is really where you can learn a lot about yourself, about the game, and really improve your game.
Good lessons for life, just in general.
Yeah, it certainly is. I don't know if you heard that, but Alison just said that's a good lesson for life.
Yep,
So,
I agree.
Tremendous work, mate. That's fantastic. I got one serious question to ask you, and it's going to revolve around where we live. So, what did you think about Hobart? Don't say it was too cold. I don't want to hear it.
Oh, no, I loved it. I mean, it was 95 degrees in the States. Whenever I was down in Hobart, I was like, yes, I get to wear jeans and a jacket.
It was cool.
I loved it. We were down by the water. We got to go to Bonnarong. We went to Mona, the Salamanca market. There was a lot of different things going on.
Yeah.
And the people. I mean, the people were just amazing. I never met a rude person the whole time I was down in Hobart.
You didn't meet him though, did you? Just kidding.
I was just next footballer, mate. That was it.
Just kidding.
Fans were very accepting of us. Really enjoyed my time there. The only thing I could complain about was that I lost a freaking Belmo.
Yeah. But that was it was a tight game though, wasn't it? It was a 250 to 240 or something.
Yeah. I had a couple 10 pins. I mean, one of them was my fault. The other one was a pretty bad break. But he's the best player in the world, man. So he's tough to beat. You've got to bring your A game and then more.
Yeah. And you were talking to 2023. You don't know if it's going ahead. You don't know if you're coming back.
I do not. I have not heard anything about that yet. Hopefully I get to. I would love to come back. Even if we don't have the Devil's Lair, if the Walter Rockaway, I would love to bowl that again and maybe get some more professional bowlers down there as well.
I'm sure Craig from WA, Craig, you're watching. He probably might he might pick you up, mate, and put him in his team. Come and bowl for Western Australia.
We had a fun little meeting between Craig and I. We had a lot of fun bowling each other. I'd love to compete with Craig. Yeah,
he's a good bloke. First time I'd met him, and he's a very good bloke. Beautiful place, mate. Next time you come back, come and knock on our door, mate, and we'll have an interview face to face.
That sounds like a plan. Maybe have a beer too.
No, that'd be good, mate.
They're all on tap.
There's always a beer or two here.
I see, you got the taps right there.
Great to talk to you, mate.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kyle, for coming on and giving us your time, mate. Especially at the moment we're in the middle of a tournament, the World Cup. So
so all the best with that.
Yeah,
we hope you win, mate. We'll be rooting for you.
I've got to ask, how did the Australians bowl?
I know Sam Cooley is leading his block.
Yep.
In his group. I do not know about the other one. I know Belmo takes the lanes at 12 o'clock today, so in an hour and 20 minutes. But they seem to be sitting in good position as well. The thing is, all the teams make the cut.
Yep.
So all this bowling is for seeding, which in a sense is kind of pointless because you can win the tournament from the 14th seed or the number 1 seed. So, we're the goal right now, I guess, is kind of treating it as a singles tournament, make the top 32 singles bracket, and then switch the mindset into team mindset once we get into the Baker games and then elimination matches.
Yep. And who do you see the favourites are? Go on, say it.
I would have to say U.S.
Say it. I knew you'd say it.
We have we have some of the most talented players. Australia has a good team as well. Sweden, they bowled really well at the World Cup last year in Dubai. They have Jesper Svensson, James Holmgren, Martin Larson. They've got a great communication between them as well. So several good teams, but in a best of 3 Baker, anything can happen. So you just got to be on your A game and hope the pins fall your way.
Yeah. Kyle Troup, you're an ambassador for the game, mate. I love the way you talk about your inspiring young kids and your coaching, your workshops, and everything you do, mate. And so proud to have you on the Froth. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we hope, I hope, mate, you have got a little bit of time at the end of your tournament. Go and do that fishing charter, mate, and go and get some Spanish mackerel out there. Okay.
Thank you guys for having me on the show. Really enjoed it.
Thanks so much,
we appreciate you coming on. We really do.
Hopefully we'll see you when you come back to Tassie.
All the best, mate. Hope you win.
Righto.
Okay.
Thanks,
see
Kyle.
You, mate. Bye.
See you, mate.
Take care, guys.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much, Kyle Troup. As we just spoke to Glenn, American professional bowler. What a gentleman. What a great guy.
Well, he's a character. And I think in all sports, that's what... this is what we want to see. We don't want to see everyone absolutely dead serious. He's serious when he bowls, but just the character. He's got the colours. He's got the throw going, and As we said, he's inspiring. He goes out and helps young kids and that, and does plenty of things for kids around the world with the bowling and that. And they're the sort of people you want to follow, and they're the sort of people you want in the sport, and a successful one at that. So yeah, we've been lucky, mate. We've had two of the best in the world.
Yeah.
We've had his offsider there, the one that he's trying to chase, and
Jason Belmonte.
Yeah, and then we're learning about the guy that's trying to beat that guy, which is to be number one, and that's not easy.
No.
But they're the best of the best. So
hope you've enjoyed the show tonight, guys, and please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And
get out and go 10-pin bowling.
Yeah, get out there and have a crack at it.
Yeah, have a go. Okay.
See you next time. Thank you.
Okay.
You're listening to the Friday Frothy. What a fantastic show.